Good day, sir, my dear classmates. We are the Group 1. We would like to discuss and explain our topic, which is about physical self, heredity, and environment. Our topic contains dominant and recessive gene. Second is physical growth, development, and maturation. Third is environmental factors affecting the physical self. And the fourth is physical self and self-concept. So let's discuss first. What is heredity? Heredity means the passing on of physical or mental characteristic genetically from generation to another. Heredity explains why offspring resemble but are not identical their parents and is a unifying biological principle. Heredity refers to a specific mechanism by which characteristics or traits are passed from generation to the next generation via genes. For example, you and your parent get the same eye color, hair color and texture, skin tone, blood group, freckles, color blindness, dominant hand, and dimples. These are the factors that your parents and you get the same. Next is environment. So, what is environment mean in physical self? Environment can be defined as a sum total of all the living and non-living elements and their effects that influence human life. A healthy environment is one that is sustainable for a long period of time. It is the source of life for everyone. It directs the life of everyone and determines the proper growth and development. So, example is, if you live in that particular place and your surrounding is violent or a chaotic situation, you may get that it may affect your physical self about or what you have been or your life experience. So the remaining topics we'll discuss with my group mates. Thank you.
Different version of a gene called alleles. Alleles are described as either dominant or recessive depending on their associated trait. Since human cells carry 2 copies of each chromosome, they have 2 versions of each gene. These different versions of the gene are called alleles. Alleles can be either dominant or recessive. Dominant alleles show their effect even if the individual only has 1 copy of the allele, also known as being heterozygous. For example, the allele for brown eye is dominant, therefore you only need 1 copy of the brown eye allele to have brown eyes, although with 2 copies you will still have brown eyes. Recessive alleles only show their effect if the individual has 2 copies of the allele, also known as homozygous. For example, the allele for blue eyes recessive, therefore to have blue eyes, you need have 2 copies of the blue eyes allele. The term heterozygous also refers to pair of alleles. Unlike homozygous, being heterozygous means you have 2 different alleles.
Physical growth and development. Physical development is one of the many domains of infant and toddler development. Physical growth is important because it can positively influence other developmental domains through the development of the brain and musculoskeletal system. Physical growth and development refers to the advancement and refinements of the motor skills, or in other words, children's abilities to use and control their bodies. Growth is defined as an increase in the size of a number of cells that results in an increase in size and weight of the whole. Growth is the increase in overall body size with change in muscles, bone, and fat, and this affects motor skills. Physical growth and development refers to a process which brings body and psychological changes internal as well as external in the organism. Another example of physical growth and developments. During the first 2 years of a life, a baby's arms and legs grow longer and grow more muscle. Beverly marks the occurrence of a growth spurt where people often grow a few inches taller. Example of physical growth during adolescence is that females' breasts become fuller and lips grow wider. Females typically experience their first menstruation, while the male shoulders become broader and their muscles get bigger. Male's muscles go faster than the female muscles. That's all for today, I think.
This process can be influenced by genetic factors, environmental factors, and lifestyle choices. In psychological terms, maturation refers to the development of mental and emotional abilities and skills such as cognition, language, social skills, emotional recognition, and moral reasoning. This process is influenced by both nature, genetic factors, and nurture environmental factors, such as family education, culture, and experiences. Maturation is the process of growing and developing over time, usually involving changes in physical, mental, or emotional abilities. It is a natural and gradual process that occurs throughout an individual's life, but is particularly noticeable during childhood and adolescence. In biological terms, maturation refers to the process of reaching full physical development, including the growth and differentiation of cells, tissues, and organs. Overall, maturation refers to a complex and ongoing process of growth, development, and change that occurs throughout an individual's life.
Environmental factors that may affect the physical self. First is culture self. Culture self-awareness is an individual's metacognitive understanding of culture's influence on the self. It encompasses an understanding of the link between oneself and culture experience. Second is life experience. The main cultural experience definition is the set of shared attitudes, values, goals, and practices that characterize an institution, organization, or group or country. In this context, we will learn to appreciate the various cultures we have in different parts of the world. Last is geographic location. It is the continuity of generation in one place, a personal sense of certainty about belonging to a place, self as an extension of all that has happened in a place, and the idea of human embodiment of landscape that is not separated from the totality of existence.
My topic is all about environmental factors. Environmental influence that shape your physical self, including those from your social network, social expectations, and cultural practices. Environmental factors, the influence of social and cultural variables on health involves dimensions of both time, critical stage in the life course, and the effects of cumulative exposure as well as place multiple levels of exposure. The context in which social and cultural variables operate to influence health outcomes are called generically. Can be conceptualized as influencing health at multiple levels throughout the life course. Example, poverty can be conceptualized as an exposure influencing the health of individuals at different levels of organization within families or within the neighbors in which individuals reside. Moreover, those different levels of influence may co-occur and interact within and one another to produce health.
Physical self. Physical self describes how individual views his health condition, body, and physical appearance. Valid and reliable indicators show that students pay attention to lifestyle. So students have healthy body, even though they also sometimes feel pain, and physical self or characteristic may include a variety of things. Hairstyle and financial future play a major part, but they are not the only one. Real self or future are what you see with you naked eye. They're all about anything you can describe about a person or a group of people just inside.
My name is John Mark El Cabero. My topic is self-concept. Self-concept is the individual belief about himself or herself, including the person attributes and who and what the self is. Self-concept is how we perceive our behaviors, abilities, and unique characteristics. There are three components of self-concept. First, one is the self-image. Second, ideal self. And the last one is self-esteem. When we say self-image, it is the personal view or mental picture that we have of ourselves. Second, ideal self. The ideal self is the part of the person's self-concept that consists of their desires, hopes, and wishes. Lastly, self-esteem. It is how we value and perceive ourselves. And thank you.
Self-image is an internal dictionary. Internal dictionary means inside of a person's mind or inside on a person's life. Internal dictionary that describes the characteristic of the self, including such things as intelligent, beautiful, ugly, talented, selfish, and kind. Positive self-image. A positive self-image is having a good view of yourself. For example, seeing yourself as an attractive and desirable person. Having an image of yourself as a smart and intelligent person. Seeing a happy, healthy person when you look in the mirror.
Good day, sir. I'm Erickson Imdaido. My topic is ideal self. What is ideal self? Ideal self is the part of a person's self-concept that consists of their desires, hopes, and wishes, and it is a part of the self that is highly prized by the individual. Thus, the ideal self is considered to be a motivator within a person's self-concept. The ideal self is an idealized version of yourself, created out of what you have learned from your life experiences, then the demands of society, and what you admire in your role models. For example, is like immature version of me, then spend a lot of time studying, and like ideal myself to talented and smart. Then self-esteem. What is self-esteem? Self-esteem is how a person thinks and feels about their own qualities and characteristics. This is described as either high or low. That is, a person has either high self-esteem or low self-esteem. My like for example, my own appearance, my belief, and my emotion. Thank you po.